In this lesson, we're going to create 8 screw terminals, electrical, and they have to be spaced 1/8 of an inch apart, and we're going to turn that into a block so we can easily insert it to other drawings. And we're going to use a lot of the tools that we have learned how to use previously, such as chamfers, fillets, mirrors, blocks, and offsets to do this, to make it quite easy. So let's get started. I'm going to draw a line down here. I'm going to start near 0, 0. See if I can get it to cooperate. So tell it I want a line. I'm going to turn orthogonal on. So F8, and I want it to be 0.5 wide, and I want it to be 0.75 long. Back 0.5 down, and back to where we started. So let me make this a little bigger. So there we go. So I've got that part. Now I'm going to draw the second half, which I want this one to be 0.25 wide and 0.5 long. So now we have the two shapes. Let's see. I want to turn this one temporarily into one object because I'm going to move it. So type join, enter. Now I can come up here and get my move tool, select my object, press enter, and I'm gonna use the midpoint snap to snap from one to the other. So now I've got my object the way I want it. I don't need, so I'm gonna go ahead and explode it again so I can edit it. And I don't need this little line right here anymore, so I can delete it, and the other one I can trim out, so I can trim that, and that's what I wanted. So moving on, we can come up here and get our fillet tool, and once it says select our first object, but it doesn't know what we want it to do, so I'm going to type R, enter, and now I can tell it I want it to be a 0.15 radius. Now I can select my first line, select my second line. There we go. And if I press spacebar, I can simply repeat the function, which saves a lot of messing around. And there we've got 1/2 of it done. Now I'm going to chamfer the other end. So I'm going to come select chamfer, and it's saying select first line, but it still doesn't know what I want it to do. So we're going to deal with that first, and we tell it D for distance, enter, and 1/8 of an inch, 0.125, enter, and then you have to tell it a second distance because you're offsetting. First you're offsetting from from the corner this way, and then from the corner that way. So you have to tell it 2 distances. Now that I can come over, click on my first line, click on my second line, try it again. Chamfer, R, enter. Come on, AutoCAD. Chamfer, R, oops, sorry, D, enter, 0.125, 0.125. So now we can select our first line, select our second line, we're good. Repeat for spacebar, do it again. Now our object's close to what we want it to look like, but it still needs a hole in here, and the hole needs to be centered 1/4 inch in. So easiest way to do that, or one of the easier ways to do it, is I'm going to select my line, come get my offset tool, and tell it 0.25, enter, make sure we're inside, click on it, hit escape, and now we need to create a 5/16 circle diameter. So center diameter, come get you a circle, tell it you want it to be 5/16, enter, and now we don't need this line. So making significant progress, but notice these are all in separate pieces, and that's going to make it a little bit more work if we have to select each piece all the time. So I'm just going to select the whole object and tell it I want it to join. So now I've just got two objects, which is fine. Make it a whole lot simpler. So we need to make 8 of these equally spaced 1/8 of an inch apart. There's multiple ways to do everything on AutoCAD, but for this I want to use the mirror. So I'm going to come up here, get me a line, I'm going to snap to that edge right there, and it needs to be 0.125. So draw me a little line, hit escape. Now I can come up and grab my mirror tool, select, I only have to select 2 objects now instead of all those little lines, press enter. I want it to snap around the midpoint of the line I just created. So, and once we've got it, we don't want it to erase the source object, so we tell it no. Then we just need to make this little line go away, and now we have 2 of them. So we can repeat this process. Line, snap it from our corner. We want it to be 0.125 again. Keep our spacing. Hit escape. Grab our mirror tool. Select our objects. Press enter. Snap to our midpoint. Tell it no, and now we have 4 with an extra line, which is going away. So now we can repeat the process one more time. So line, snapped from there, 0.125, enter, escape, and then we can select all 4 of our objects. Oops, sorry. Go get mirror first, then select all 4 of our objects. Enter. Make sure we pick up our midpoint, flip all 4 of them up top, tell it not to erase them, and then delete this little line, and now we have 8 of these things. Which is nice because we want to turn them into a block. So to do that, and the reason we want to turn it into a block is so we can insert it into any other drawing we want. So come up and we can go to insert, go to create block, tell it create a block. This one we're going to call electrical terminal. So it wants us, we can click select objects, we can select our objects, press enter, brings us back to where we were, tell it OK. So now we should have a new block. So we can come up here, go to our insert, our block appears there, and we can just drag it down here wherever we need it, and now that's an easy way to have a bunch of these ready for whenever we need to do something. So that's it for this lesson. See you in the next one.